Oh my gosh, hello. My name is Jan Damon, and I'm a proud co-leader of our newly organized, growing every day, indivisible NWA. On behalf of my indivisible NWA co-leaders, Dr. Liza Childs and Dr. Kate Burks, I welcome each of you to our very first empty chairs town hall. Why are the chairs empty? Where are our congressmen? Are they listening to us? What can we do to get them to hear us?
Vote them out.
Hopefully, by the end of the town hall today, we will have some answers to those questions.
Annoy them until they
To
listen.
be clear, and contrary to what many have heard about us, members of Indivisible NWA, and even those of you in the room today with us as volunteers, are nonpartisan, non-professionals, and I hate to tell you, we aren't paid by anyone. We are simply Northwest Arkansas citizens, friends and neighbors who have come together with the collective goal of empowering our people to do democracy together. That's why we're here today, and we are so pleased you have joined us. While this event is sponsored by volunteers of Indivisible NWA, we could not have made this happen today without the use of this great facility. We thank Pastor Clint and the staff of Good Shepherd Lutheran Church. They have answered many questions. They have answered all of our phone calls, and we couldn't have done this without their help as well. I would like to thank our core volunteers who helped behind the scenes doing so many things to pull this together. We have Kate Burks, who is also our co-leader, who's been sending out all of the communication and everything. She's done a wonderful job setting that up. She's our media coordinator. We also have Denise Greathouse. Denise, are you close by? There she is. She was our speaker coordinator, and now today she's the photographer. So we appreciate all she's done. We have our facilities coordinator, Susan. I just thought, there she is. Susan opened this up for us early, stayed late, and closed down for us. The hours that these volunteers have put in have just been extraordinary. We also have our volunteer coordinator, and that's Liz Cusick. Where are you, Liz? We have a publicity coordinator, Bob Whitney, who was unable to be here, but surely wanted to be here to be in a Waldo suit. Staff coordinators, and we sure do appreciate them because they sought us out and said, we want to help. And they are helping us today with all the sound system and music, and we do appreciate that as well. We had so many additional volunteers that worked in the parking lots and at the entrances, and the volunteer list just goes on and on. We just want to give them a round of applause as well. event. We are live streaming through Facebook and Instagram. Our official Instagram account cannot go live for 30 days, so for now, go to, we need to write this on the board. We're going to a different account, and David's going to write that on, Walla's going to write that on for us. Okay. Just remember that you will be subject to being live streamed, and you will also have pictures made today. Many people I've seen with their phones taking video, but I hope we're all glad we're here. Right. Okay, the restrooms are in the back of the room to the left down the hallway. I think there's a nice sign there that shows where you can go there. Should we need to get out, quickly, we have a door that is an exit door. This behind me to the left. We have, of course, the one you came in, and then I think there are 3 just beyond the restrooms back there. So be familiar with that. I have a silly username.
I have a silly username, so ignore that.
Now.
And then _. Yes.
Remember, once you leave this building, if you choose to leave and go out the doors, it will not let you back in. The doors will be locked behind you. Okay. Now I would like to introduce our NC, who is probably not a stranger to anyone or many here. Anna Good has been a community organizer since 2017. In Minnesota, before Anna made Arkansas her home, she was a co-leader of her indivisible group there. Anna found joy in connecting people with their power in understanding government, elections, and holding our elected officials accountable. Anna has continued her political involvement here in Arkansas, and we are fortunate to have her coordinate our very first Empty Chairs Town Hall, and for agreeing to be our MC today. Let's welcome Anna Good.
Hello, friends, and friends I haven't met yet. I'm very excited to see all of you, and thank you for that warm welcome. While I have been a community organizer for 8 years, and I got my start in Indivisible back in Minnesota, I'm a volunteer, I'm a mom, I've never been paid to be a political activist, I wish. Then maybe I wouldn't be watching grocery prices so closely. I'm a mom of 4, most of them are teenagers, so say a little prayer, please. I do this because I love my country. I love the promise of America, and when our country... And when our government isn't acting in a way that is supportive of its people, we have a right to speak about that. And so I have had a tremendous, great time connecting with people, because politics is just people. At least it should be. So that's my side note. I should probably get back to the notes I actually prepared. So you're here today because you've been trying to reach your elected officials who are supposed to represent all of us, not just the people who voted for them. And the response from them has been either to flat out ignore us or to dismiss us with condescending tweets or copy and paste form letters. How many of you have experienced this? Or voicemail. Or full voicemail. Yes.
Somebody's messaging
all of
the
the above
Instagram account.
sometimes. We're here because our government isn't working very well right now, and we need better representation. We need our voices to be heard and acknowledged. We need leaders in the Senate who understand that one of their jobs is to provide a check on power to the other branches. One of those jobs is to thoroughly vet and what's the word I'm looking for here? Not just rubber stamp The people who are closest to the president, their advisors, those cabinet positions. Their job is to investigate, ensure the best people are getting those positions for the good of the country, not just their billionaire agenda. In the House of Representatives, one of their most important jobs is to approve congressional spending. When Congress approves a budget, that's the law for that term. When we see the cuts that we see happening to our departments, with cuts to USAID, to the dismantling of the Department of Education and the laying off of thousands of workers, the cuts to the VA, the cuts to Social Security Department, and I don't need to tell you that this is unprecedented, but I feel it needs to be said because it is. And I want to emphasize it because it's so important that all of us continue to pay attention. So, have they looked at any of Elon Musk's billion-dollar contracts? No. They can't because the president fired the inspector generals on January 24th. If you don't know, the inspector generals are the actual auditors of the cabinets and the departments that they work in. And so when people say stupid things on the internet, I get smarter because I go and look things up. I'm curious enough to say, what does the inspector general do? And that's when I found out that
temporary
USAID is
Instagram
one
account,
of
and
the
then you
most
just
audited departments in our government. Interesting.
Because we can't go live.
But they got rid of the inspector generals. So now Elon's contracts can't be audited by outside people. Elon can do it. I'm sure that he would. So what do you do when your president has unleashed his unelected billionaire, top campaign donor to destroy offices that they don't feel are important? You hope that your senators and congressmen will do something or say something. If they won't listen, we will. So that's why we're here today. We will take your questions. We will take your concerns to their offices. We have invited them here today. Several times. I'm like, I won't be a part of this if they're not invited. They're like, we have. And they've emailed, we've called, we've even stopped in their offices and offered them a personal invite. So they know about today's activities. So who are our congressmen? I thought a reminder would be very good. Okay? So up first, our longest serving congressman is Senator John Bozeman. He was first elected in 2000, not to the Senate, but to the Arkansas House of Representatives, where he served the Arkansas 3rd District. And then in 2010, he was elected to the Senate. So he has been in Congress for 25 years this year. He's up for re-election in 2028. In his last election, the 2022 midterms, there was 1.7 million registered voters in the state of Arkansas. Do you know what percentage of registered voters he won his election with? 32.9%. We're like, how can that be? Because only 50.8% of registered voters turned out for midterm elections. It only took 32.9% of registered voters for him to win that seat. Let that.
Not again.
Think about that. We have a midterm coming up. Not for this seat. But just a second. So Bozeman is one of our more active congressmen. He serves on multiple committees. He is the chair of the Agriculture Committee. Its formal name is the Committee of Agriculture, Nutrition, and Forestry. That is all of our ag bills, all of our SNAP bills, and oversees all of the forests in our country. Kind of important. He's the chair of that committee. I've been told that if he's not responsive, we should email the entire Ag Committee. So, that's an idea. He's also on the Committee of Appropriations, the Subcommittee of Senate Military Construction and VA Affairs. He's on the Committee of Environment and Public Works, that's infrastructure. He's on the Committee of Rules and Administration, and this one I found really interesting. He's on the Commission of Security and Cooperation in Europe, also known as the Helsinki Commission. Moving on to Senator Cotton. So Cotton was first elected to the House of Representatives for Arkansas's 4th District in 2012. He was elected to the Senate in 2014. He didn't stay in the House very long. And then he's up for re-election in, wait for it, 2026. Of the vote, but it's worth noting that his Democratic opposition had to drop out just before 5 minutes.
Oh no, you did it right. He torpedoed him 5 minutes before the vote closed.
Well, yes. Yes. So I listed Bozeman's credentials and all of the committees he serves on. Cotton serves on Armed Services Committee, Energy and Natural Resources, and then he's the chairman of the Intelligence Committee. He serves on Congressman Womack was first elected to the House of Representatives in 2010, and he's up for election every 2 years. So he'd be on every ballot. That's good to know. It's hard to get actual congressional district registered voter numbers. I would have to do a lot of math, and my brain wasn't mathing last night when I wanted to crunch the numbers, because some of the districts are partial counties. And so he won his re-election with 63.8% of the election day vote. So that's why that number sounds a little bit more skewed. I couldn't get a total voter vote for the whole congressional district, and I apologize for my inconsistency of percentages. I blame the consistency, so I'm sorry. He serves on the Appropriations Committee, and then he's on 3 different subcommittees: Transportation, Housing, and Urban Development, the Subcommittee on Defense, the Subcommittee on Financial Services and Government. So, that is our congresspeople. With so much emphasis on the national news and what they do, I thought it would be, we, the organizing board, thought it would be really good to get personal stories about how different groups here in Arkansas are being impacted by the Trump administration already. So joining us today, oh, hold on, I skipped a page. I got ahead of myself, I'm sorry. All right, so, like I said, I'm not a professional, I'm an amateur, I'm a mom. So, they are not here. This makes more sense. All right, they are not here, but you are. All of us are here. We're here to listen. We're here to witness each other's stories, witness each other's concerns, and in just a little bit, you are going to have a chance to ask questions. So I want your mind to think a little bit before I introduce our speakers. Each of you has a note card on your chair, and I want you to think, if our congressmen were here today, what would you ask them? What comment would you make to them? Remember, we are live streaming. All right? You can write your question or comment on a note card, save it for later, let it percolate in your mind a little bit, get your words just right. I want you to start thinking about it now, so that when we get into the live question part, you're not just put on the spot. I'm a person who needs to think a little bit, so I like it when people just don't spring things on me, okay? If you need more note cards, if you have more than one thought, you can, okay? But you're going to get a chance to say one, okay? We got people handing out more note cards and pens and writing utensils. They will come to you, so you don't even have to get up, all right? We will take your messages to them. So now that I have your ears thinking a little bit, you have your assignment. We're gonna transition to the speaker part, okay? Trust me, we have a process. Our first speaker is gonna join us via Zoom. He has traveled first speaker is stuck in traffic. All right, so we'll circle back. We're going to focus on our Arkansas speakers. All right. Like I was saying, with so much emphasis on the national news, it's sometimes easy to be distracted and not think about what's happening here in Arkansas. And so we wanted to make Arkansans relevant today. And so we have 5 amazing organizations local to Northwest Arkansas. And in just a few moments, you're going to hear from the people who are doing the work on the ground, dealing with immigration, dealing with voting, dealing with local incarceration, dealing with climate change, and people without housing. They're here today to tell us how federal policy is impacting the people they work with and the work that they do. Let's meet them and hear from them. I'm so excited. All right, so up first, we have Sonia Gutierrez. She is coming to us from Arkansas United. It's right here in Northwest Arkansas, and they work primarily with the immigrant community, and she is right here. I am so pleased to introduce her.
Oh my gosh, y'all are beautiful. You don't know how happy it makes me to see you all here so much because it has been rough. I'm going to take your energy and positivity back to Arkansas immigrants. And it will help them so much. And we're going to talk about ways that you can get involved and show your love for them because they need it a whole lot right now. My name is Sonia Gutierrez. I am a former city council member with the city of Fayetteville. I do lots of fun things around the community, including making trouble at Quorum Court in Washington County. Right now, I'm so grateful to, I see one of my former teachers in the crowd. I'm so grateful to have the opportunity to work on behalf of Arkansas United. Arkansas United was founded 15 years ago by a dear friend of mine, Video Rai, who is a Fayetteville graduate. And so she started this nonprofit, and we kind of worked side by side in different capacities, but as the new administration came on, she called on me and said, I'm going to need all hands on deck to deal with this, and can you come and work with me for a little bit? So that's kind of how my relationship is with Arkansas United. So they work on doing advocacy and service for immigrants in Arkansas. All levels and all kinds of immigrants, documented and undocumented, and so that's kind of what they do. And I just do want to make a note that it's the group that I feel like I'm speaking on behalf is all immigrants and all refugees. People whose status is very uncertain, but really also too in our group, which is crazy, is lumped in there as people with a certain skin color are just getting pulled over who are completely illegal. Y'all, I have memorized my attorney's phone number and I'm carrying a red card. And if you don't know what a red card is, talk to me after, okay? But it's your 4th and your 5th Amendment. Let's see here. I'm going to breathe a little bit. Meditation is really the only thing that's been really helping me to get through all of this, and I just get where I get, everything gets stuck in my throat. So how is it? How is the question I was supposed to answer was how does the current administration affect your group of people? There has been an enormous amount of fear. And the fear is just growing. And now we're at the point where we're starting to see people they're planning self-deportation. Yeah. Going back is better, even though the economic situation will be terrible. for them, and they're not showing up. My ED, Leah Rife, the founder, she said that they're already planning for getting out. Just everybody's leaving for the summer. Once the kids get done with schools, they're leaving. And so that Delta has farms that have already started declaring bankruptcies. So those gardens, that we were talking about, plant them. It's not good. It's not good at all. We have some scary bills, and we did have one incredibly great victory. 1422 failed, and so we're excited about that. And that was about an ID that was going to be given to people who were not full citizens. The ID, instead of just getting a regular Arkansas ID, it was going to be flipped vertically with the words non-citizen across the top. And thankfully it failed. I'm going to go through these kind of quickly, but the best thing to do, and I'll come back to this, is really to join the Arkansas United email list, because then you'll just get up to date, just everything, because this is a lot. And I also wanted to tell the person that I can do kind of a notes after that you can get, so you don't feel like you have to frantically write all this down, and it'll just come to your email. But Senate Bill 1426 right now engages sheriffs and other state law enforcement in executing immigration warrants. These are Arkansas laws. HB 1789 bans local ID cards. So, people can't just see it, because to open a bank account, you need an ID. House Bill 1655 makes it a felony to harbor and transport somebody who is not a full citizen. So that means, if your husband, your child, or somebody, is not documented, you can become a felon. I mean, these things are crazy.
Boo!
March 30th and March 31st are 2 days. If you can think about saving the date, again, I'll send this to your organizers. The 30th, we're going to do a vigil somewhere here in Northwest Arkansas. We don't know where exactly yet. Working with Gladys Tiffany at the Omni Center to get that going. And then on the 31st, we're having a lobby day, because what's happening is we're getting the pressure from the federal level to get to make an anti-immigration effort at the state level. So on the 31st, we're having a lobbying day, because they're going to start trying to push some big anti-immigrant bills through. And I've got a little note, but I've got 30 seconds left. So do sign up for the emails. I'll send you that information. Do volunteer. Do donate. And I want to breathe again. We will persevere.
Okay, we're going to continue with our speakers.
What is the email address? For Arkansas United.
She will send that out with the next Indivisible update. I will get that information to Kate, and with the next Indivisible email, she will put Arkansas United's contact information so that you can have information about what they do. Their website is amazing. ArkansasUnited.org. There you go.
Thank you.
All right. So, up next, I'm going to introduce our next two speakers at the same time so we can save a little time, and it's less of me talking and more of them. And we have Wendy Finn from the League of Women Voters. League of Women Voters needs no introduction. Their work stands for themselves. And then we also have Solomon Birchfield from New Beginnings, who's going to talk to us about, apparently Solomon needs no introduction as well. Amazing. New Beginnings works with our unhoused people in Northwest Arkansas. So I am so excited for them to share their work with you as well. Please welcome them.
Hi, you guys. I'm Wendy Finn with the League of Women Voters. I see a bunch of us out here who are with the League, so thank you for coming out, guys. A lot of times the League is very involved with anything that's happening with civic action. The League of Women Voters has been around since 1920, 105 years. Our mission is to empower voters and to defend democracy. So how has this administration affected our organization? It has given us a lot of work to do. So if you need something to do, if you're like, I can't sit by and watch what's happening, I need something to do, but I don't know what to do, come talk to us at the League of Women Voters at Washington County. We will put you to work. There is so much work to do, and it's great to come and protest. It feels great. It gives us community. It helps us to get our voices heard. But we also need to do the day-to-day work of showing up in the community. So there's the people that are here speaking today, all of these nonprofit organizations and nonpartisan organizations are great places to plug in. A lot of you guys are already plugged into that kind of stuff, but if you are not involved yet, please come to our website, check it out, get signed up for the email newsletter. We have work to do, and we'd love to have you with us. Every day people call and ask me, they're like, what can I do? Where do I go to get involved? I don't know what to do. Joining the League, we've got lots of volunteer opportunities. This afternoon we're doing voter registration training at the Unitarian Church at 2:30 to teach people how to do voter registration training. We're going to have one next week. We also have volunteer opportunities showing up for Observer Corps. If you're not familiar with Observer Corps people go and show up to places like Quorum Court, City Council, anything that has an elected official capacity. We show up and try to provide transparency, shine a light on what's happening in our local government, report back, and it provides a great educational opportunity too. I've learned so much by going and participating in these things. Sometimes more that I was like, oh my gosh, what is happening? We also have volunteer opportunities in membership, communications committee, and events. One educational event that we have every month is called Drinks and Dialogue. This month we have an immigration attorney coming to speak to us about how the administration's immigration policies are affecting us locally. And as you heard talking to Sonia, it is affecting us, and it's creating a lot of fear in our community. So it's great to get some great information and insights from people who are working and doing this work. And that happens the first Wednesday of every month at 5:30, usually at Crisis Brewing. So yes, I'm mad that we have to work so hard to defend our democracy. I'm so glad that we still have the opportunity to do this. And yes, it's fun and it's great and it's unifying and it's a great thing to protest and to march, but we have to show up in our communities, and organizations like the League of Women Voters is a great place to do that. So if you're mad or you're confused or you don't know what to do and you don't have a place to channel your energy and your anger, the League has provided a platform that gives you a positive expression for civic action that builds community and strengthens our democracy locally. So we have a place for you at the League. Come see us. We'll put you to work. Welcome to the fight.
Great to see all of you. I try to be educational and occasionally inspirational. My name is Solomon Birchfield. I help lead the New Beginnings community here in Fayetteville, where we develop neighborhoods that end homelessness. But in case my speech gets colorful, I'm representing myself today. 772,000 people experienced homelessness on a given night last year. in the United States of America, the richest country in the world. 850 of those people slept in cars, in shelters, in the woods, on the streets. In Arkansas's congressional district number 3, we need leaders who show up for our neighbors without housing. Right now, there are 16,000 families in Northwest Arkansas who are paying more than half of their income every month on their rent. That is 16,000 families who don't have enough room in their budget to pay for everything else. The food, the transportation, the clothing, the education, the health care, the child care. These are families trying to keep their head above water in the midst of a national affordable housing crisis. And we need leaders who show up for families who are struggling to pay rent. Did you know that over 9 million Americans' housing depends on federal support? What some people on TV might call waste. 9 million people. Some people live in public housing. Right here in Fayetteville, Hillcrest Towers by the Fayetteville Library, public housing. Lewis Complex, Willow Heights. The majority of people who live in public housing are either elderly or people with disabilities. Other ways that the federal government supports us in housing is there are projects throughout Northwest Arkansas where your rent is based on your income. And so there are families that are working and their rent is made affordable because they have an income-based rent amount. Or because they have a voucher that allows them to move closer to work and the voucher helps pay for their rent. This is not waste. This is investments in our neighbors and their well-being. Are our congressional and senatorial leaders even paying attention? No. You'd think the answer would be yes, but the answer is no. Last week, the budget that was signed by President Trump cut $4.6 billion from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. Signed by Trump, passed by the House of Representatives, passed by Republicans in the Senate, plus Chuck Schumer. That's untrue. That cut is going to reduce 32,000 housing vouchers. Some of those families live in Northwest Arkansas. They shifted $200 million away from homeless assistance grants. And some of the people impacted by that live right here in Northwest Arkansas. And they are just getting started. The internal documents that have been linked to the Associated Press say they are coming for 50% of HUD staff, gutting the agency, making it impossible to administer grants or investigate housing discrimination claims. While our leaders are paying attention to some billionaires' car sales, or some billionaires' war against immigrants, or some billionaires attempt to offer tax breaks to other billionaires, I suggest that maybe it's time to pay attention to the needs of housing and food and health care of regular Arkansans.
People are doing great work in our communities. They have great ideas. We have 2 more coming up right next. Next we have Joanna Curzon-Mitchner from Citizens Climate Lobby and Mac Mayfield from Arkansas Justice Reform Coalition. Let's hear it for our last 2 speakers.
more importantly, I'm a mother. I see firsthand how climate change is affecting people's mental health. It's causing anxiety. There are people who are very affected emotionally by disasters that they've experienced.
Ooh.
Do I need to get closer? Okay. And they're grieving because they're seeing what is happening to their communities as well as to the outdoors that they love. But my deepest concern is for my son, his generation, and those to come. The truth is, if we don't reduce emissions now, life is just going to get harder for people. Let's talk about the truth. Climate change is real. It's human caused, and it's already affecting our daily lives. Fossil fuel companies have known the truth for decades. But instead of acting responsibly, they spend billions on a disinformation campaign. Confusing the public, buying politicians, and delaying climate action. In fact, when I was a 6th grader in the late 1980s, I learned about global warming from my science teacher right here in Arkansas. It wasn't controversial then. But since that time, we've been made to believe that there's doubt in the science. There isn't. Now we have been discouraged from even talking about climate change. See my hat? Let's talk about it. And yet here in Arkansas, we don't have to look very far to see the impacts. Our state is experiencing more extreme weather, stronger and more frequent tornadoes, longer droughts, heavier rains that lead to devastating floods, and increasing wildfire risk. Agriculture, the backbone of our economy, is feeling the strain. Farmers face unpredictable growing seasons, while higher temperatures and erratic rainfall threaten crops and livestock. These challenges are not hypothetical. They're happening right now. The current administration's recent actions are making working on this issue even harder. President Trump's executive order called Unleashing American Energy has frozen billions in clean energy funding, including $100 million in grant money that Arkansas has already been awarded through the Inflation Reduction Act. Already awarded. So the name of this grant is the Climate Pollution Reduction Grant, and it was meant to help communities transition to cleaner energy, lower costs for families, and create jobs, and build resilience. Arkansas won it fair and square, and now it could be taken away. So what can we do? First, we need to raise our voices. Call and write our members of Congress and demand that Arkansas receives the clean energy and climate resilience funding that it was already promised, $100 million. Let them know that we want to protect our communities from worsening climate disasters while also building a strong, sustainable economy. We need to stay engaged. And one way to do that is with the Citizens Climate Lobby. It's just one way. I'm a co-chair. There's a chapter here in Fayetteville, and there's several around the state. We have a sign-up sheet on the back if you'd like. I see I have 30 seconds, so I'm rushing a little bit here. We also have, there's an event coming up that I want to invite all of you to. It's called the Interfaith Climate Retreat. It's going to be at St. Paul's. And this is an opportunity to bring people of varying, faith traditions together along our common values to work on the issue of climate change more effectively and kind of take a deep dive with the issue. It's on the Northwest Arkansas Community Hub, and there's also a flyer on the back with the QR code. The fossil fuel industry spent decades trying to convince us that we had time to wait. But later it's too late. The science is clear and the impacts are here. And when I look out at all of you today, I see hope. And hope's been hard to find, y'all, lately. And I don't know if y'all been feeling that, but I know I have. And y'all are giving it to me. Thank you. I see a community that cares. And when we come together, we can overcome our greatest challenges. We must stabilize our climate for our children and our grandchildren. And we need a functioning democracy to do that.
Good afternoon. My name is Matt Mayfield. I'm with the Arkansas Justice Reform Coalition. And since I'm prone to forget things when I'm talking off the cuff, I want to invite you all for showing up to the Quorum Court on the third Thursday at 6 o'clock every month. It's a great opportunity to be heard because it's often an empty gallery. Now, while we're bashing politicians, I'm going to point out a good one to you. Beth Koger, are you here? She's courageous, and it helps to have some friendly faces in the crowd and half the room, and most of the worst she was staring at you with daggers in their eyes. Arkansas Justice Reform Coalition has been trying to end mass incarceration since 2019. We run a revolving bail fund, and we also do pro bono legal work as well as other programs for people who have become justice involved. The real tragedy in our county is of the 700 to 800 people in our county detention center are being, 400 to 500 of them are being held for trial. They're there because they're poor and they can't afford bail.
Boo!
Cash bail deserves a big raspberry, that's for sure. The sad part about this is we vote for these people. We have agency with the county. Our judge and our sheriff are elected positions. Often this passes right under the bridge without notice. The $120 million that we have in our county budget is often unchallenged. The supermajority does not give fair hearing to the opposition, so they need to hear you. You need to show up and let them know that they're wasting our money, they're ruining people's lives. And sometimes I wonder if it's intentional. I'll speak to the topic of what the impact is of the federal government. Sonia Gutierrez talked about the fear in some of these communities, that they're under direct threat. What happens in that situation is people don't call the police when there's a crime happening. And a fearful environment allows crime to thrive. So it's not just them who are impacted. It's all us privileged white people too. I sometimes wonder if that's not the intent of the people that are running our government. It seems like they want to wreck the economy, and they want to make crime the dystopian future that they describe to us all the time. They want to make that happen to make their positions more secure because we're too scared to go out and object. So it is really great to see a gathering of people who aren't scared. Yeah. So we need to get out there. Arkansas Justice Reform Coalition, our website is arjusticereform.org. And I've got some literature if anybody is interested in any of our programs. Thank you for coming out.
you to all of our speakers who took time out of their schedules today to come and represent these really important issues that are impacting our Kansans in our communities. I am really excited that we have our speaker on Zoom now. I'm going to start and see if you can figure out who we have here. He has traveled our state almost block by block, meeting our Kansans and listening not just to their needs, but to their dreams of what our state could be. He is a graduate of Morehouse College and MIT.
Great. Look at that room. You all look amazing. I am excited to see you all. I wish I could be there. I will be there next time for sure. Congratulations to Arkansas Sports Pride all over. Congratulations to our lady Wolves. They play hard. They fought hard. Wolves up all day long. And I know our moms are getting started, but we're going to give some love to our fellas as they fight on the court. And at the same time, we have action going on across the state. So I'm in East Arkansas right now. You all are in Northwest Arkansas doing it up. I just want to say thank you for what you're doing. Thank you for continuing the fight. They want us divided, because when we are divided, we can't fight back against the mess that they're putting forth. And let me tell you this, you all know this is at the state level and the federal level. Flashing Social Security, destroying farms that have been in action for generations, have been active for generations. They're coming after everything, including ending the Department of Education. It is an absolute shame. But there are things that we can do, and you all are doing that. So I just wanted to say briefly, number one, thank you for what you're doing. Number two, I am here with you, and I am not going away. And number three, so I get the privilege of sharing some civic homework with you all. Everyone should have a sheet of paper that outlines what you all can do. And if you don't have one, then truly get one. What we have to do is use our voice and make sure that we use it in a way that is effective. So our homework is pretty straightforward. We can do this at the state level or at the federal level. And what I want to share with you all is that this sheet of paper with all of your representatives' contact information, we have information about other organizations and other local actions. This sheet was put together by Sheila Ruffin, and she talked to experts, journalists, politicos, in D.C., and throughout Arkansas, and she compiled a well-thought-out document that will help guide us. And what I want to share with you all is a couple of little tips. You know, we talk about writing letters to our congressional representatives. It's fine to do that if you want to. But letters are not as effective as calls, and calls are not as effective as email. Because what they'll do is they'll throw the letters away. They'll ignore the call. But with emails, they use artificial intelligence to find out what the emails are saying. So here's our recommendation. Write a personalized email. It can be kind of form letters, but write a personalized email to your congressional representative. Make sure the email focuses on one point. Because when you put 2 or 3 points in there, that's when you get the thing. And make sure that you include your name and what area you represent. If we do that, and we get a coalition together that's constantly emailing, what they'll see is an uptake on the issues that matter to us. And artificial intelligence will tell them, hey, look, your constituents are saying this isn't good. That's how we move the needle in the park. And the last thing I'll say is we move the needle by continuing to show up. You all are doing weekly protests in Senator Cotton and Representative Womack's office. It's happening in Little Rock on a weekly basis. Continue to show up. Continue to talk about the personal story. In our town hall, we had a farmer who lost her farm. We had a parent whose kids on Medicaid, and she's not sure that if she loses Medicaid, her kid will even be alive. These are personal stories that matter, and they break through the nebulous Department of Health and the large Department of Education. So the more we can tell our personal stories, the better. And my final thing, y'all know I'm a preacher, so I got my final thing is this. Probably the most important thing we can do in this moment is stay together in community. It is so easy to be afraid. It's so easy to be isolated. It's so easy to feel like you're alone. But find your village, find your community, stay in the village, encourage each other, because if we keep fighting, if we keep showing up, if we keep making our demands, I believe we will face this thing and we will get through it. It's a hard work. It can sometimes feel like scary work. But I guarantee you that if we stay together, it'll be work that will be rewarding, and it'll be to the benefit of our kids and our kids' kids. I love you all. I'm thankful for what you do. I can't wait to get there for the next event so I can be in person and we can give you hugs and we can talk about all the important things.
to be talking to real people, but you know, here we are. My son is in elementary school, and he has the biggest heart. He is very sweet, very kind, but he has learning disabilities. With dismantling the Department of Education, I'm worried about what that's going to mean for the SPED funding here in Arkansas and the quality of education my son's going to have, who has special needs. Even though he lights up a room, he cares for everyone. So what are you all doing to protect education in Arkansas?
Good afternoon. My name is Julia. I've lived in Northwest Arkansas over 25 years. Questions to the senators here. Both of my parents served in the U.S. Army. They were law-abiding. They believed in the promise of democracy. They hoped for equality, a dream deferred. So, how do you feel about the leader of your party as a 34-count convicted felon, a draft deferrer, an adjudicated sexual assaulter who does not or would not even qualify for military and is now serving as commander-in-chief, siding with Russia and China? Just asking for a friend.
I'm on Social Security. The House budget calls for cutting $880 billion from Medicaid. I want to ask Steve Womack if he's going to apologize to the 866,000 Arkansans that will affect.
Yeah. Hi, I was lucky enough to move to Arkansas back in '06, and I'm proud to say that I haven't met a single unnice person since I've moved here. My dad went to Vietnam and bled for his country, and now refuses to use the VA because he's lost so many of his benefits. My question is simple to all three individuals. Who or what are you actually loyal to?
Yeah.
They our president took an oath and they violated it with every breath.
In May, we were voting on the school board and also the school certificates. And really, I believe that change comes from the bottom. So if you get, you every time the door opens, somebody.
My name is Frank Head. I live in Fayetteville, Arkansas. I retired 5 years ago as Director of Catholic Charities Immigration Legal Aid Office. I'd just like to address my remarks to our missing representatives and request that they please initiate a congressional inquiry into whether Elon Musk violated his visa status when he founded his first company. While holding a very restrictive student visa. If so, he lied on his citizenship application about his work status, and he is subject to denaturalization and deportation.
Hi, adult, and she has severe multiple disabilities. Right now, she is on the Medicaid Community Employment Supports waiver, and this waiver provides caregivers so that she can continue to live in the community. If this program is cut, she and thousands of other adults and younger people even who have disabilities are going to be looking at being moved from the community into institutions, into nursing homes. These two are funded by Medicaid. What are we going to do? I stay awake at night. This is my 3 a.m. go-to. I'm really concerned about this. My question to our representatives, I've called, I've emailed, I've written, I've left messages. What is the best way to get your attention and your help?
Yeah!
Hi, my name is Phyllis Head, and I live here in Fayetteville. I have many things, but I'll try to stick to one that I would like to say to my representative and my senators. That the United States fought against the fascists in World War II and established alliances to promote democracy all over the world. And why do you, my representatives, support the dictator from Russia? I say why?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Sally Davis. I live in Bentonville. I love seeing my elders out here in the community. I just want to say that I think it's a responsibility as those of us with white privilege to be the ones out here in the streets speaking up for those who cannot defend themselves. And I'm so proud of all of us here today. And I do think that there's hope. I think that if our representatives are going to be real with themselves, they're going to see, if they're not already, that they are not going to get elected again by their constituents. Until the next presidential election cycle to find our representatives who do speak for the people, and we are going to rally behind them. And if we don't have them, let's start encouraging our citizens to step up and run for office and not take get it going. So thank you for your time.
Good afternoon. My name is Greg. Now, each of you three solemnly swore to defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic, and the current actions of Elon Musk and President Trump are a domestic threat. Guilty. Now, we understand that if you speak out against Trump and Musk, they'll speak out against you and threaten your primary elections. Well, so what? Your jobs are not to keep your jobs, but to serve the people you represent and protect the Constitution. Obligations of those positions as well. And you are obligated to use the co-equal powers of Congress to protect the Constitution and us from their illegal actions. And you need to face the people you work for. Political spin on a Zoom call is
to all three legislators who are not here. Why are you blindly consenting to anything the President proposes without careful analysis and deliberation? How do you see yourself upholding the Constitution and fulfilling your Article 1 responsibilities while allowing the President and DOJ to take over departments and agencies, shut them down, fire competent employees, destroy government data, and disclose citizens' private information? How can you allow shutting down Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, Department of Education, and more? All programs are approved and funded by Congress. Why aren't you moving to impeach your president who clearly is not faithfully executing his duty to preserve and protect and defend the Constitution?
Hello, chicken. Hi. So I have a very long name and a very cute accent. It's not long. So the representative and the chicken, please do your job and defend the U.S. Constitution. My name is Liza. I got to say so. Please do your job and defend the U.S. Constitution. Why are not you doing that? What is the reason for that? Otherwise, just quit. So, and finally, I think we moved from California to here some time back, and this is a wonderful place with a lot of beautiful nature. It's not written, but it just came to my mind. And there is a lot of laws that the government is passing right and left, and they are not going to protect the nature. No. So don't forget about that. We should all support each other in these dark times. The people that are concerned, that come from here far away, and now are a US citizen born here in Arkansas. So let's protect each other, let's support each other. Yeah. Thank you.
My name is Michelle Palmer. I live in Rogers, and I'm here with an invitation for you. The Washington County League of Women Voters came up and talked about the importance of what they can offer, and what I want you to know is we just got it in January, an official charter to restart the Benton County League of Women Voters. We're meeting on the third Thursday of every month. We just had our second meeting this past week. April 17th will be the next, and at this time we're meeting in the Arvest Community Room on the Bentonville Square. And we've got a great core of people getting started, but we need to grow that group. And all the things that they're doing here in Washington County, we now have that group in Benton County as well. So please join us. Northwest Arkansas, Benton County, or League of Women Voters, Northwest Arkansas. There's a Facebook page, and that may be your best place to get that information. So thank you.
Hi everyone, my name is Stacy J. Cox. I'm from Springdale, Arkansas. Before I ask my question, I want to give some people some hope in here about unity. I registered as a Republican when I was 18 in Iowa. I voted straight Republican almost up through 2016, where I watched my party nominate a man with increasing bewilderment and concern that I thought was a threat to this country. One thing that I hope unites us all as Americans is a fear of autocrats, dictators, and the loss of freedom, and that is why I am here today. I am not the only Republican who thinks that these people are criminals and need to go. I am united with you. Tom Cotton's chair. For a military man and a veteran, what a fucking coward. know what you are doing to protect us from this unlawful, unconstitutional power grab by this man and his billionaire cronies.
My name's Peggy Siswell. I moved here about a year ago from Little Rock, and I live in Fayetteville. I have a short statement and a question, but I would like to respond to the woman who spoke about our allies and the war we fought, World War II. If my father was alive, he would be rolling over in his grave. Say some very choice words. He marched across France with George Patton to kick their asses. I'm proud of that. So, this is my question. 71 million people rely on Social Security for their rent money, their grocery money, their money for medication, utilities, and all necessities. And my question to the three of you, who probably have a great deal of wealth, what is your plan to help senior citizens when they can't receive or are denied their Social Security checks?
Hello, everyone. Thank you for all being here. My name is Keith Richards, and I'd like to really say this, that I'll add to the last speaker. My father fought in World War II and was a POW, and he too would be rolling over his grave. So my question for these three missing people: why have you abandoned the majority of the people you represent, especially family farmers who rely on services from the USDA, new citizens who have come to the U.S. to escape dangerous situations and who want to contribute to this country, and all of us who rely on the public education system? Who do you represent?
Hi, I'm Gwen. I'm an activist from Fayetteville. I have a question. It's going to be a little different. It's not addressing them. I've done my emails, my phone calls, etc. They don't give a shit. My question is a hard one. What is the goal of this pep rally? This is a huge crowd. I was so impressed. I was really happy, and I think maybe the only person happier than me could possibly be somebody like Tom Cotton, who does not give a shit about your children. Right? Tom Cotton, he does not. You cannot shame or blame these people. And so my question is, I think Tom would be happy because all the troublemakers are busy clapping and applauding each other in one space, and he can do his stuff and he doesn't have to worry. So I'm reminded, I am going to step off this, but very quickly. I remember when the Students for Democratic Society splintered, and some of them became weathermen. And at that point, I was like, you guys are sick. Why are you being violent? That's the other side. But I'm at a point, and I definitely agree with the woman, it should be people who look like me, white. I am a retired professor. I don't have that much to lose. I have been arrested. I will be happy to be arrested again. Some of us have got to fuck things up. Yeah!
Hi, my name is Liz, and I am a speech language pathologist. I am also a single woman, not married, and I don't have kids. And so my first thing is the loan payment. My loan payment is $837,
And I have it in forbearance, but without the income-driven payments, I can no longer afford to pay the $1,100 on my rent. The other thing, the main reason why I'm standing up here is I became a speech-language pathologist to fight for the systemic inequalities that I saw as a French teacher in private education working in the Southeast. And I am afraid to share the diverse materials now that they have started to push for all of these words to be illegal. And most of my caseload is they don't look like me. And they deserve to see books and to hear the truth and to be supported. And so I lived a life of privilege. I look like fucking Barbie. I have had access to higher education. I can move through my life with ease. People are not afraid of me. I have dedicated my career to support these populations, and I don't know why you want to dismantle the Department of Education. SPED teachers are the most underpaid and overworked people in the education continue to be more and more involved. But children deserve to have access to services, and they deserve to have equality. Is about having access to knowledge so that you can advocate for yourself. And many of these families do not. And so I will continue in my profession to do what I can and to use materials and to speak up and to try to, use materials in Spanish and English, but I just am scared for my job. I'm not sure if it's going to be there. And I'm scared for these kids. And I'm also scared individually because as a single woman, I just don't feel like I have a place anymore. So thank you.
My name is Carol, and I want to address the Congressman, Representative Womack, Senator Tom Cotton, and Senator John Boozman. I feel betrayed. You were elected to stand up for liberty and justice and to protect our constitutional rights. You are a representative of the people. We, the people. My question is, why are you bowing and being intimidated by the autocratic executive branch? Honor your oath of office.
My name is Heather Grills. I'm from Bella Vista, Arkansas. My husband is a pediatrician at Arkansas Children's Hospital. He has never treated a case of active measles. He is getting ready to retire, and he was hoping that he wouldn't. But the people that have been approved to be in these types of positions are unqualified and unscientific. I grew up in southern Florida and went to a conservative Baptist Christian school where they talked about compassionate conservatism and fiscal responsibility. And I believe that you all have been in office, Senator Cotton and Boozman, since the era when family values, compassionate conservatism, and fiscal responsibility were what you were elected upon. And I don't believe that supporting this budget that takes $880 million from the very poorest, the least of these, and you are people who espouse Christianity very strongly as well. You're taking money and care from the least of these, and you are giving a $4.3 trillion tax cut to billionaires. That is like treating the man who comes into the church with the gold ring and putting him on the front row, and taking the poor person and seating them in the back row of the church. I assume that you know your scriptures. I'm a very, very faithful Christian person. And in the 80s, things were twisted so that family values of abortion and homosexual marriage were used to manipulate people to vote against their own interests. And so we must be compassionate to these people who think that they're voting because of their faith, and say, we believe this because of our faith. We believe in taking care of the least of these, the widows, the orphans, the prisoner especially. And I would ask you, my husband's father was a Holocaust survivor, okay? And removing people from houses without warrants and shaving their heads and extraditing them on planes in the middle of the night is like sending people to Auschwitz on a
Representative Womack. My name is Lisa Harrington. I live here in Fayetteville, and I represent a group called Not on Our Watch, Northwest Arkansas. On March 3rd, that's just 19 days ago, I was physically in the D.C. office of Representative Womack, and I hand-carried a signed letter from 29 of his constituents, people in my group, neighbors, and friends and family. And I read that letter aloud to his senior legislative assistant. I focused mostly on our concerns about the advancement of Project 2025. It's now roughly 3 weeks later, and my question to the representative is, when are you going to have the courage to answer them?
Yes.
Hello, my name's Clint. I'm also a member of Veterans for Peace. Where's my veterans in the room? How about their families? How about the families? All right, wait, I'm sorry. What's that, Senator? No. I will stop you right there. You do not get to thank us for our service. You do not. You do not get to thank us for our service while you dismantle veterans' health care and you do not support them. While you put our troops in harm's way, I think we're involved in 5 or 6 wars around the world right now, which for wars that are usually based on lies, and you, Senator 1, 2, 3, are complicit in genocide for what is going on in Gaza and the West Bank right now. So do not thank us for our service. And I would like to know how you sleep at night.
Hello, my name is Karen Skahan. I'm from Lowell, Arkansas. Just a couple simple questions for our representatives. What are you doing to prevent Trump's pro-Putin, pro-Russia agenda? Why does Elon Musk have access to the Pentagon? Why aren't you supporting Ukraine? And on a separate note, tell me how Noah is woke.
Hey, I'm Sydney Townsend. And you know, you really can go blank. Your mind can go blank when you come up to stand and talk to people. But we know what action that they're taking. We know what they're doing for us. They didn't even show. Not at all. At least Chris was able to contact us. He made the effort. They're not making an effort at all. We see you. We see that your passivity is supporting Trump, domestic terrorism.
Do you mind if I show this?
Go ahead, yes.
Just going along with that, if you all were aware of the town hall that was held in Little Rock on Tuesday night? This was the official invitation that went out. I didn't receive one. Did any of you? No. Sorry? 7,000 a plate. This happened to be, well, the host committee had to give 10,000, but so Senator Cotton was invited. Oh, it has his name at the top, so I assume he organized this. And we had Sarah Huckabee Sanders there. Senator John Bozeman was there. And you know where they weren't? This was the same night as the Little Rock Town Hall where they had over 700 people in attendance and an overflow crowd. They chose this event over hearing from their constituents. Isn't that amazing? But they didn't even have a different event here that I'm aware of that they went to while we were holding ours. But anyway, I thought this very interesting, and when I saw this, it's like, oh my gosh, we all have to see this.
I've been asked to give the legal disclaimer that officially indivisible does not condone violence.
Wink, wink.
Civil disobedience is okay. Go ahead and get yourself arrested. But we don't condone violence. Legally.
Are you going to collect these postcards?
Can I get to that?
Oh, yeah.
So, I will be collecting, well, not me personally. Where is the basket for collection, Jan?
They're on the back. It should be on the back table.
On the back table, on your way out. I know not everyone wants to come up and talk in front of people. We still want to hear from you. Your voice is also important. So make sure that your concerns, your question, put your name and your zip code on it so that they know that it's somewhat legit. On there that this all came from a Northwest Arkansas town hall. So they can't accuse us of all being paid protesters. I don't know where they think they're getting the money from in this economy, right? No. So you will deposit that in the basket on the way out. So I want to thank you so much for your time today. You all have lives, and you chose to be here. You have things to do. You chose to come and exercise your voice. That is such a great part. Democracy is not a spectator sport.
Nope.
So make sure you put your cards in the basket. You got the homework sheet that was in the back on your way in that has so many great resources for local action and action here in Arkansas for all sorts of contacts, civic organizations to plug in. Do not check out. We are in for a long haul. You have a question?
No, I wanted to make a comment. I recently read somewhere that the line was about the meaning of MAGA. It actually stands for Make America Go Away.
It seems like that, doesn't it? So please continue to pay attention, stay engaged, and thank you so much for your time today.